Hey everybody, this is Mike Freeland coming at you really quick with some amazing information about this phenomenal opportunity that is taking the world by storm immediately. And this is, as far as you guys are familiar with, is car charging, EV chargers, and all of these different new products that are coming out. It's going to make your life much more simpler when it comes to saving money on your electric bill at home and being able to have uh, partnership and an opportunity with Geo Energy and how this will create millionaires. It's coming out now, and it's picking up and it's picking up and it's picking up. But here's something that I want you to think about. How many of you, and I know I did back in the 80s, I had a couple of relatives of mine, and what they used to do was they would get up and go to the front door and get the morning paper. They would sit and read the entire paper, and they knew everything about the national news, the local news in my area, but they were always so negative about everything that was going on. And then if you presented them with an idea or wanted to share something with them, even with all that you knew about what it was you were going to share, they always found a way to tear it down. And then they start making you feel doubtful about what you saw and heard. Guys, I've been through that over and over again. And this is why I wanted you guys to see this video. Now, your Geo Energy is really out to make the world a greener, a brighter place. The President of the United States by 2035 wants to have nothing but electric cars running on the roads. Okay, now I'm sure not all gas powered cars will be gone, but there will be a lot more electric cars on the road, okay, than there is today. All right. Problem with that is the White House, the president, they do not have a marketing force or a sales force to get that word out. This is where you come in. This is where I come in, guys. This opportunity that we have with your Geo Energy is amazing. So what I wanted you guys to do is I want you to hear, and this is different than a typical presentation you may have been invited to. You're going to hear from the leaders of this company and the opportunity that this company is going to bring. I'm talking about hearing from presidents and things like that, not just word of mouth from me or anybody else that may be sharing information on social media, all over social media, but you're going to hear exactly from the owners, the founders, the people that are putting this opportunity together. And then if this is something that interests you, guys, I want you to get in contact with me, because if you look at my other videos, I'm on a mission not only to build an organization, but to help people themselves build their organization. So let me get out of the way. I want you to hear this presentation. I'm going to actually remove myself from the camera so that you will focus on what you're going to hear from the leadership of this amazing opportunity. And then after that, if you want to become a part of the opportunity and a part of my team, all of that information will be in the description so that we can get you set up and going. So let's listen in to this amazing opportunity.
Good evening and welcome to tonight's Zoom. I am Maura Hoskin, Vice President of Operations, and without delay, I would like to introduce our President, Mr. David McElroy, who is an experienced investor, has founded multiple businesses, has worked with Bank of America, Wells Fargo, Ford. He's the former president, CEO of Home Infinity. Without further ado, Our president, Mr. David McElroy. I turn it over to you.
Thank you. Good evening, everybody. Tonight, I would like to talk about timing and opportunity. I was trying to figure out over the last 5 years how venture capitalists and hedge fund managers decide in what to invest and when to invest. And as I dug into it, I realized that they were masters of timing. They had research staff that was digging into trends and then examining companies that were in that space to decide which direction they would go. The biggest opportunity for venture capitalists is to put money in companies that nobody's heard of, companies that are perfectly positioned but have not yet grown to a point where the multiple of their earnings drives the price up. So I asked the VC, I said, well, there's been some great companies. I've got some friends that are billionaires. How come they didn't hear about it? He said, well, nobody asked them. I said, what do you mean nobody asked them? They're rich people. It doesn't matter that they're rich. Nobody that they're friends with knew about it. I said, so you're telling me that you as a VC get a chance to invest in something that they or I don't because you know somebody? He said, that's exactly how it works. We all call each other. And I was listening to an interview of a multi-billionaire, and they were asking about a particular company that had been a huge investment. He said, what do you think about that? He said, I don't know, I wasn't asked. So you have to be asked to know about insider deals, and you have to know the right insiders, because politics is this way. Not everyone knows everybody, but some people know a lot of important people. And it's the important people that let you know there's something that you could be part of. What we're going to talk about now tonight is timing and opportunity. And in order for an opportunity to have so much overwhelming force, you have to be backed socially and you have to be backed politically. And you can recognize whether something is socially backed by the memes that are going about it. Do we hear memes about greenness? Yes. Do we hear memes about whether or not the solar energy business is good? We hear memes about all those things, but how do we know when the timing is right? It's when the government gets behind it. There was $1 trillion infrastructure bill that was passed last year, and in that bill is $900 million to build out the grid. $900 million, the power grid. In addition to that, there was $5 billion to be used as grants for people that want to be in the solar charging business. What do we need in order to back electric cars, the electric charging stations, more correctly, misspoke before? We need to have the stations. Why has Tesla been so successful? Because they have the largest charging network that they put in themselves in America. There are a number of companies coming into this space. So when you know that lots are coming into this space, that's when you know the timing is right. There's buzz. If you start looking on YouTube, you will find literally thousands of videos about this topic. So the question is, how did you hear about this call tonight? Because you knew somebody that knew we're kicking this company off. That's why. That's why you're here. And we have a great chance to be in front of a huge trend and with this company at the beginning. And we're asking you to look at who we are, look at how we're positioned, talk with some of the executives, because you were asked by a friend of yours to come and take a look at something that they think is a great opportunity. And that's what tonight's about. What you're going to be able to hear this evening is from some people that are involved with the company, and they're going to share with their point what they saw, why now is the time for them, and their credentials will speak for themselves. Can we please have our first guest speaker now?
Thank you, David. Thank you for allowing me to introduce Mr. Mel Tiller, who is a retired captain of the United States Marine Corps and presently served as vice president and board member of the 100 Black Men of Las Vegas and is YEREQ's vice president of training. Welcome, Mel Tiller.
Thank you so much. Ladies and gentlemen.
Good to have you with us tonight. I want to ask you a quick question.
Sure.
We're just getting started. You were fortunate enough to know somebody that let you know we're getting started. You talked with them. You decided you wanted to take a position with this company. A man with your background, you have a lot of choices.
Yes,
Why YEREQ? Why now?
Actually, I was talking with our CEO, Mr. George Bingham, and he was telling me about this business. And he got about halfway through, and I said, wait a minute, you're telling me that you're putting me right in the middle of $1 trillion industry. And he said, yes, we are. And I thought about that. And I understood, if you think about the need for electric vehicle chargers, just think about it. How many gas pumps do you have in your city, in your town? Every single one of them are going to be gone. Every single one of them will be replaced by multiple EV chargers. Every single one. I walked outside of my house. He told me about power chargers. I walked outside of my house and looked up and down my community. And I understood that every single home in my community needed to save 20 to 40% on their electric bill. It became something that was exciting because I started to understand what I could do with what was in front of me. An entire industry is beginning to rev up and take off because the world is moving away from fossil fuels. I understand trends. I understand systems. And I looked at this and said, now's the time to get in. I was hooked. He talked to me for about 5 minutes and I told him, I'm in.
And I think you probably have found this with people you've spoken to. There are many people that have done a huge amount of research on this already. They're already interested. They're just not quite sure how they're going to participate until somebody, have you ever got a stock pick from somebody and they said, hey, have you heard about this? No, I haven't heard about it. Oh, well, you need to look into it. I think it would be a good thing for you to do. And that's exactly what you're going to find. Some of the friends you have you found that? You said, yeah, I've been thinking, have you found that to be the case?
What I found was most people thought the only way I'm going to participate in this industry is as a consumer. And all of a sudden, I'm talking to them and they realize I now can take advantage of this. I now can be a part of this. I can now be a producer. And I'm telling you, I don't have to talk to people very long. They were just like me with our CEO. They stop me, they ask questions, they already know. They've heard the president talk about it. They don't know the present administration needs this, that this is important to the present administration. When the president is talking about green energy, you know it's important. When the whole world is talking about green energy, you know it's important. And then when somebody comes to you and tells you that you can benefit financially from this, because somebody's going to benefit greatly from this from a financial standpoint. And they were telling me that I could get a little piece of that I could have a portion of that. Very exciting. Very exciting.
In mentioning that, I read recently that in order to keep up with what is believed to be 50% of vehicles sold in 2030 being electric, we need 438 charging stations installed a day between now and then. And in California, by 2030, you can't buy a new gas car. It's only electric. And California is the 5th largest economy in the world. Things are changing.
I knew that. And my question was, how many people are going to be following? How many states are going to be following? And how fast? Because California is always the leader, but nobody leaves them out there by themselves. How fast will everybody else jump in there?
And so maybe the question would be like my VC friends. How many of your friends need to be privileged to hear from you that there's something they need to take a look at, and then they'll decide for themselves what they want to do. When something's really cool, you just give it to people and they say, oh, this is cool. They decide what they're going to do with it. Would you say that's a fair statement?
I am telling my friends, this is something you need to know about. Now, if you're interested, great. If you're not interested for yourself, that's great too. But you need to know about this, because I don't want you coming to me a year from now and saying, why didn't you tell me this?
There you go. You have a responsibility to share what's going on. They'll know what to do.
They absolutely will. Absolutely.
Well, I'm glad I have you in our organization. We're pleased to have your talented board. Thank you so much for being here tonight. We're going to continue these calls on a regular basis. You know somebody that's cool with some background, that's got some training, please let us know, because we'll do one of these interviews. Who's our second speaker tonight?
Our second speaker is none other than our very own North American ambassador, Mr. Marcus Dunlop, who has held such positions as chairman, CEO, president, senior vice president. Mr. Dunlop has a strong background in personal and professional development training, along with building large organizations. Welcome, Marcus Dunlop.
Hello there. Thank you, Barb. Appreciate those kind words. Can you hear me okay?
I can. It's good to have you on our call tonight. We had the privilege of chatting a little earlier, and I was so taken back by the background and the power that this gentleman has. And I wanted to have him on our call tonight to share with you his perspective on why YEREQ and why now. If you looked at his credentials, you know he has plenty of things he could spend his time on. And he and I aren't kids anymore. We just slid past 21 a little while ago. So we're kind of counting the future as very precious to us and are careful where we spend our time. Could you tell us what you saw and why now?
Well, you actually took a part of what I was thinking about, David, and that is the question came to my mind, if not now, then when? And if not me, then who? And I figured now and me were the answer to those questions. I had a vision that was painted with this opportunity from the creator and founder, and I caught the vision. And when I heard the vision, I felt it. It penetrated. It actually seemed like it reached down into my subconscious almost. I've had some very large, massive dreams and goals and objectives. And all I've ever looked for really was a vehicle. No pun intended, but I wanted a vehicle that could allow me to create some of the biggest, most wildest dreams I've ever had. And I would really be very interested in leaving a legacy multi-generationally for my kids and my grandkids. So I called my son, he's a pilot as well. And now he's even gotten promoted to captain. And I said, Marcus, you need to get in this thing right now. Don't ask me any questions. Just say, sir, yes, sir, like you always do. And he got in immediately because I would like to see multi-generational opportunities for my kids and my grandkids and even great-grandkids. So that's what really happened initially. The vision was painted, and I caught the vision, David.
No, when we talk about that, in particular at our tender ages, when we have maybe more behind us than we have in front of us, maybe medical wonders will come along. There'll be something else we'll talk about in the future. But timing and opportunity is so very important. And when you look at what's going on in the market, then the question is, who are the people you're going to work with? Because no company can do well without a great team and a great synergy and a comfort that makes them support one another and what they're wanting to do. And I've noticed that no companies become great without that synergy and that central driving purpose. So would you say, obviously you want to build financial security for your family, but you could do that doing lots of things. What about this makes it the important thing that you'll spend your precious time to do to get that for your family?
Well, I think you said it really, that was a key phrase you just mentioned, and that is when I'm looking at the integrity and the credibility, the background of the people that I'm working with, I find at this age, now that I've hit this particular decade, that is extremely important I mentioned to you just a little bit ago when we talked about an hour or so ago that I'm pretty much looking at every minute, every second is very calculated. I'm very particular and very persnickety as to who and where I spend those time and minutes and valuable seconds. And so I'm looking at the people that I've had a chance to meet with. I went to the event in Las Vegas, and after the event in Las Vegas for those 48 hours, it got my attention in a very big way. And I felt almost like a superhero when I came out of there. I came back to Indiana, and I felt like I could fly through the air with a cape because I felt deeply that this is a final resting place where I could plant my flag and maybe 2 flags this time so that I'm able to catapult to where I'm talking about going. But I looked at the people. I felt the people's energy in Las Vegas. I felt them, they felt me. I've been getting calls ever since I left Las Vegas from the people and the other ambassadors. And I can't put a price tag, David, on what it feels like to have the other leaders, executives, ambassadors, and even our other affiliates and co-owners, what it feels like to feel their energy and have their energy be synchronized with mine. And I think that a synergistic connection with folks that I'm choosing to spend my precious, valuable minutes and seconds with is very, very important. I've taken pride in having at least enough wisdom and discernment to be able to pick and choose the caliber of people I'm working with. And I feel proud to be working with a group like you're talking about right now.
Thank you for saying that. And I can tell you this, I remember building the company from the ground up until we took the entire floor of the building. And I started that company out of the trunk of my Cadillac. And I would work there at night and I would walk around and I'd look at all the equipment. And I had this feeling, this incredible feeling of joy where I thought, this all came out of the trunk of my Cadillac. I could hardly believe it. And the beauty of doing that with people where we can look back on this time when we were just getting started and say, remember those days? There's no substitute for that. The energy is powerful. Thank you so much. I'm glad to have you with our organization. Who's our next guest this evening?
Thank you.
Wow, this is great stuff. All right, so I have the honor of welcoming a very special guest who has a strong public speaking background, is bilingual in English and French, an active founder, and is YEREQ's envoy to the ambassadors. Welcome to the roundtable, Mr. Babu Gabal.
You might have to unmute yourself down there in the lower left-hand corner.
I saw a text from him that said we might have to do it for him. Can we do that, Laura?
Unmute it for him down in the lower. Yeah.
All right, I told him to unmute.
Oh, okay, here I go.
There we go.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much for this incredible opportunity. Thank you, Mr. David. Thank you, Sir George, Marcus, and all the wonderful founders, members. Thank you, Adam, for supporting me. And thank you, my team, who is listening now from Malaysia, Europe, India, Canada, USA, and all over the world. What an incredible opportunity. I just know I'm taking a stand. Marcus just said it. He's planting his flag. But I want to give you the vision for myself. I'm planting my flag like a lighthouse, that it has a firm stand, it's not gonna move. Right now, I'm transitioning where I am to come full-time in this opportunity. Because the person who gifted me this opportunity, I bless her. All she could tell me, she sent me videos, I never watched the videos. She told me it has to do with EV charging station. I say, send me your link. Within 30 seconds, I was in because I have invested massively in this EV charging station myself. I know where the world is going. You know, Bill Gates once said, if you know where the world is going, be there first, right? And so incredible things are happening in the organization right now. And I'm grateful. I'm grateful for this opportunity because in the past, I've built a lot of organizations internationally, but never am I building something which is backed by the government. And if you give me the permission, I'll read an article that was published today on Reuters.
Please do.
Okay, so look what Reuters said today, and you can go and research it through Google later on. Sorry, I'm just getting so many hits here, but I'm just going to find this article. So this article in Reuters today, President Joe Biden and Elon Musk. So new US requirements will put Tesla under pressure to open up its EV charging network to rivals per routers. If it doesn't, it could miss out on getting in on the $7.5 billion in charger subsidies planned by Biden. So the president right now is looking for rivals in this industry, and that's where we come in, because Tesla and other companies never gave us a chance to be part of that. So this is the company that is giving us and our loved one a chance to be part of something. I can't describe. Somebody last time said colossal. I would say it's super colossal opportunity. And yeah, that's all I wanted to say. If there's anything else you want me to add, Mr. David, Mr. Dave, I will be glad to add.
Yeah, I love your energy. We had a talk earlier this evening, and I felt like he was training me. Like oh, and what makes a company great? Well, what makes a company great is that the people in positions of leadership open the doorway to bring talent in. That's what makes a company great. Great leaders are only as great as those participants that are part of the organization. You have a chance now, and I'm glad you said this exactly like you did, to be the seed, the core, the beginning on which we're going to build a platform of greatness. And I can't tell you how excited I am when I look forward to the future and imagine these calls and imagine all the things we go through as a startup and all the frustrations that we push through to build wealth and the fellowship of doing that with a group of people. It's like being in the combat of business. It draws people together and it brings out the best. I thank you so much for being on our call today. I'm looking to get to know you better and better, coming out to see you, talking to people that you think would like to be part of our company and see if we can explore that possibility together as a team. Thank you so much tonight. I think we have one other surprise speaker this evening. Who might that be?
Well, this is exciting. YEREQ, I have the great privilege and honors of introducing none other than our CEO, Mr. George Bingham, who brings a wealth of business acumen. He has held multiple titles such as CEO, Presidential Director, Executive Vice President. Mr. Bingham has owned a hydrogen generating company, has a background in real estate, contract law, and insurance. YEREQ, I introduce to you our very own CEO, Mr. George E. Bingham. Welcome, Mr. Bingham.
Thank you very much, Laura. I would first like to extend a special welcome to all of our owners that are on this call this evening. Now, before I go further, I would like to let the people see how broad this company is and the opportunity that we have to go worldwide. Very seldom will you be before a limited time prospect initiative. And that is what we have here now. But first, let me give you a chance to meet our founders. I would like to show John and Cynthia Ruston. Now, these people are our founders. And let me tell you, I would like to thank them for giving me the privilege to be the CEO of such an amazing company. They are the ones that invited me to take on this responsibility. But let me tell you something else. You need to understand the scope of this company. There are hundreds of millions of dollars even behind them. So I don't want you to think small. I want you to think big. And I want you to take this ride with us. Now, besides John and Cynthia, our founders, not owners, they are founders. We are owners. They are founders. Let me show you our ambassadors so you can see the scope of where this company is going. These are our international ambassadors. You've already heard from Marcus. He's in charge of all of North America. I want you to look down and see Caesar. And I won't even attempt to pronounce his last name, and I talk to him on a regular basis. Nascimento. Let me tell you, Caesar is a 9-time world champion known throughout South America. Have literally millions of followers. He's in charge of South America. Chris Che, in charge of Africa. Miss Amin Wang, she has China. Now let me tell you, Dave said something a few minutes ago that I want you to understand. I got a call from the gentleman that we've made the ambassador of our company. He's the ambassador to all of he's the envoy to all of the ambassadors. And let me tell you, that means that he's able, Mr. Babu, he's able to go into any of these countries and build our company. And you just saw his energy. And let me announce here for the first time, when Dave said that he learned something himself, I want you to know I learned something. And let me tell you what I learned. He is so powerful, so energetic, knows so many people, going to do so much for this company. I'm going to have him report directly to you, Maura, and to our president, Mr. Dave McElroy. So he will report directly to you all and not to the ambassadors. Now, you all just heard that from me just a minute ago. I decided that when I talked to him today. Now, let me go back to what I mentioned earlier, to our owners that own this code. I want you to realize that you are very important to us. And you owners are going to be the one that contribute to the success of YEREQ GEO Energy. You all are going to be the ones that do that. Your personal success will contribute to the company's success. And because you're going to drive this company to another level, we as a company will personally compensate you for your efforts. Now, you are a unique few. We're going to only have 10,000 owners. I don't care how big we get, we will have 10,000 owners. And you that own this call are owners. Don't forget that. You own a part of this company. You're not a rep. You are an owner. Now, I don't think we have 10,000 owners yet, but we're getting there. So let me tell you owners, if you have friends, relatives, mothers, fathers, sisters, brothers, they need to become owners just like you. because you will change their lives forever. Historian Everett Hale made this statement. He says, coming together is a beginning. Keeping together is progress. Working together is success. And you see, that's what we're going to do. We're going to work together as a team in unison for the success of all of us. We are a success-driven company. And every last one of us are going to live by the same principles. Yes, the founders are going to do that. Your CEO is going to do that. The president is going to do that. The vice president is going to do that. Every ambassador will do that. We're going to work for the success of every last one of us. Now, we've come a long ways in a short time. This is just absolutely amazing. So I want you owners out there and everyone on this call to remember YEREQ GEO. YEREQ means green. GEO means earth. Very few people know about YEREQ GEO Energy today, but everyone will know tomorrow. Everyone will know who we are tomorrow. And you guys have the privilege of being owners, ambassadors, presidents, whatever. We're going to take this to the next level. And thank you very much for being on the call. And let me turn this back over to my assistant, Vice President of Operations, Maura Hoskins.
Thank you, Mr. Bingham. Wow. To close after that, that was amazing. You all, we are part of such an amazing multi-billion-dollar company that's a part of a trillion-dollar industry. We are owners. That's a great thought to go to sleep on tonight.
Now, ladies and gentlemen, let me just hop back up here real quick. Guys, there's really not much more for me to even say. Okay. What I loved about this particular video is that, it wasn't showing about a compensation plan. It wasn't showing a whole bunch of slides about different parts of the company, and you can get that. We have that. But what this did was actually introduce you to the leadership, and it also talked about people becoming owners. Guys, I am an owner of this company, okay? You could be a founding owner as well. They have not reached the 10,000 people yet, so you still have that opportunity. Get with me, okay, as soon as you possibly can. Get the rest of your questions answered. Please, please, please. And let's take this thing and just run it until the wheels come off. This is Mike Freeland. You have a fantastic day, and we'll see you soon.